Hi, my name is Tim Snelgrove, and I'm the broker-owner of Checkerboard Realty. And I wanted to do this little video about preventative maintenance things you can do for your rental property or even your own home. These are some of the things that I do as a property manager to help lessen the risk of expensive repairs on homes. So let's get started. First of all, let's start with smoke detectors. This is an older style smoke detector, and a lot of these used to work on batteries. And let me see if I get this one. But the problem happens that a lot of times we tell tenants they're responsible to replace the batteries when they start chirping or going bad, and they just don't. They either take the battery out completely, they take it off the wall and throw it away, and then when we come in to do our usual inspections, we find that they're missing or they don't work. That's a problem. Now, this is a new style one. These are required to be put in now instead of the older style if you can't replace the battery in the older ones. These are called 10-year tamper-proof lithium-ion battery smoke detectors. They're a little bit more money, but basically the owner or the tenants now don't even have to replace the batteries. If these go bad, you just replace them out. This one has been tampered with. They actually cut the wires on it, and you can see the little batteries right here. It's soldered in, so you can't do that. Now the question, how do you test your smoke detectors? A lot of people go up and push the button, right? Okay. That just means the little speaker is working. We use something called basically smoke in a can. What we do is go like this, and if the smoke detector goes off, we know it actually detects smoke. So that's how we test them. And we probably replace 2 or 3 of these a month. It's a very common item, but I don't think you ever want to have a fire in your property and have somebody getting hurt because a smoke detector didn't work. What's the next thing? How about air conditioning? I'm in Florida. Air conditioning is a big deal. We have basically the tenant's responsible for replacing the AC filters. It's right in our lease. Are they going to do it? Some do, some don't. We have a program where the actual AC filter will be delivered right to their door. Basically, the tenant ends up paying for this part of their rent, and so it's a reminder. When it shows up to your door, every time it comes in, you replace the AC filter. This helps reduce the wear and tear on the air conditioner, because if you ever had one of these in for a year, you pull it out, it looks like a gray sweater. And that's just making the AC work harder. The other problem with AC units is they remove water from the air when they're running. Now, there's a drain line that goes from the air handler, which is the inside part of your AC, to the outside of your property and drips outside. Now, on occasion in Florida, with warm weather and water, algae will grow in that drain line. It's a common thing. Generally what we try to do in about March, April timeframe, we go around all the properties, we try to clean those drains out. And what we have is this little tool right here. This is a little CO2 powered air gun. And what we do is cut the pipe to the drain line that goes outside. We hit this trigger, and hopefully if the picture shows up on the video, you'll see what happens outside. Now, normally what we also tell the tenant to do is put a cup of vinegar or bleach in that drain line once a month when they're running the air conditioner. That will keep the algae flushed out and stop it from growing. Okay, the next thing we go to is water leaks. Water leaks are pretty much the highest cost item we can run into. So what we do in a lot of properties is we install this little device right here. It's called a water detector. It's very simple. You can put this in with where your water heater is, or even your air conditioner. Sometimes they're in the same place. And what happens if this thing gets wet, I'll show you just how simple it is. I'm going to wet my finger. That's how loud it is. So somebody's going to hear that go off. And I can tell you numerous times we've found out that we caught a leak right away when these things go off that might not have gone detected for a week or 2. So that's a big cost savings, because once you have a large water heater leak or an air conditioner leak, it can get expensive. And if you're in a condo and you're an upper floor unit, you can very well affect the people below you. And that's not a good way to make friends. Okay, other kinds of water leaks. Let me grab something here. Okay. These 2 things are called water supply lines. These 2 happen to actually go to your toilet tank. Goes from the wall up to the tank. This is an old style one. This is made out of plastic. This is what they used to use. This is what we recommend today. This is a braided one with a rubber hose inside, much less prone to failure. Hopefully on the screen if it pops up, there's going to be a picture of one of these, and I had one fail in a condo a few years back. Now, the tenant was home at the time. They caught it fairly quickly, but by the time they turned the water off and they heard this leaking, we had to replace 2 bedrooms full of laminate flooring. It flooded the place. So that's an expensive thing for a $2 versus a $5 part. Where else can you put these? Kitchen faucet, bathroom faucet, or how about your washer hoses? These are often neglected. These sit out maybe in your garage, outside closet, and the rubber tends to deteriorate over time. Can you imagine taking one of these, turning the water off, unhooking it from the washer, then turning the valve back on and pointing it at your laundry room for 5 minutes? That's going to be a mess, okay? So you can get this type of hose or this type of supply line for your dryer as well. A little more expensive, but in the long run, just might save you thousands. Now, how about some more common little things? Like the water fill hose. This is the valve that goes to your on the wall in your by your toilet or under your sink. And it's the old twisty turny kind. Now, when these get 30, 40 years old, they have a tendency to drip. We like to replace these with a very simple device, quarter turn sort of thing. It turns on, turns off, turns on, turns off. Not all this twisty stuff, and these are very less prone to leak. Same thing, water heater or water heater valve. Got the old style here. These tend to leak over time. We can replace these with what's called a ball valve. These are, again, a 90-degree turn and turn it back on. Not a whole lot of price difference between the two, but these are a lot more reliable in the long run. You know what these are? This is called a flapper valve. This goes in your toilet tank. If you hear your toilet every once in a while running when you're not using it, you hear a little 2 or 3 second psst, the tank's filling back up, chances are it's your flapper valve. These are $4 or $5. I keep them in my truck all the time. Replace them as they're needed. It's a 5-minute fix, and tenants are really appreciated when you just do this stuff real quick and get it done. The last thing I have is this. This is a dryer hose. This goes on the back of your dryer and goes out to the wall, which then probably goes to a vent. It may go up to the ceiling, go to the wall outside, you don't know. You should be using this kind these days, not the old fabric kind. Those are prone to have problems apparently. But what happens over time is this nice little hole you have here. You have dust going through there and dialant, and over time it's going to clog up. And the hole's going to get smaller and smaller. That makes your dryer work harder. And the tenant's going to tell you, oh, it takes me 90 minutes now to dry my clothes. Well, maybe you just need to clean out the hose or just replace this. Or you need to clean out the vent if it goes up to the roof. And that's something you should probably do every 4 or 5 years. Because there are issues without what's called dryer lint fires. I've never had it happen to me, and I certainly hope it doesn't happen to anybody. But it does happen out there, so this is one thing you can do to resolve this. There are many companies out there that will do this service for you. It's like under $100 and do it every 4 or 5 years. So my philosophy for my owners, I like to spend little amounts of money to solve little problems. I don't want to get into big issues for big money. I think everybody can agree with that, and that's what I do as a property manager. So hopefully these little tricks are helpful to you in your home or if you have a rental property. And if you have any questions about this kind of stuff, give me a call or email me. My information will be on the screen. Thanks for watching.